Okay, in the due course of the show, we're going to be chatting with Gaurang Shah from Geojit BNP Paribas Financial Services. As always, Mitesh Thakkar will be with us to help us through the technicals of the trading day, as well as Sameet Chavan from Angel Broking will be joining in on the show. And getting a little wobbly, we're range bound within a narrow band, skirting around that 7,400 mark. We've seen some bit of pull up from the lows of the day, considering we cracked sub the 7,400 mark as well. It's the broader markets which are the underperformers of the basket. So you've got a bad breath at your hands, the advanced decline hands, and they are well in favor of the declines right now. Small caps taking the maximum pain right now in trade to the tune of about almost 2.25% right now. Mitesh, what's your strategy for the Nifty today then?
See, I think on the index, my idea would be to sell call and put options, both of them, purely because I do expect the index to kind of arrest the declining trend. It's extremely oversold and close to support levels of 7350. So I think selling a 7250 put and a 7550 call option may be a good trade to take for the next 7-8 days as we approach the expiry. So I'm not taking a directional trade, but I'm taking a non-directional stable kind of a trade by selling both the call and the put option.
Let's also get in some trading calls then. Mitesh, what are you advising?
Yeah, I have a sell on Asian Paints. I think that's one stock which after a long time has come on this sell side. I think it's breaking key support levels, or rather just trading above them. So if it sells, if it starts breaking below 858, 857, sell with a stop at 875 half for targets of 825. And Container Corporation, I think that's one stock which has made a fresh swing decline. I think that's a sell. Now with a stop at 1202 or just about 1200, and look at targets of around 1135.
Let's also bring on board then Sameet Chavan and talk about his strategies for the day. Sameet, hi, good afternoon. How are you approaching the Nifty trade today, considering we're getting pretty skittish at that 7400 zone?
Good afternoon. We have seen a gradual decline since Nifty breached its important support level of 7700. We have even breached our September lows of 7539. Looking at the current price movement, it appears that Nifty is likely to slide further, but we are now seeing a strong support around 7350, 7300. We have been observing Nifty moving within a range of 300-400 points since last few weeks. Now lower end of this particular move comes around 7350, 7300. There are few Fibonacci ratios also that are coinciding around these levels. Thus, we are advising traders to cover their short positions once Nifty reaches 7350, 7300. And on the upside now, immediate resistance would now be seen around 7500, 7550.
Okay, there you have it. Sameet, walk us through what ideas you've spotted.
We have two recommendations, both in pharma space, but one would be a buy call on Lupin and second would be a sell call on Divi's Lab. Both these stocks are clearly showing divergence. Lupin chart structure certainly looks good. A couple of days back it formed a bullish engulfing pattern around its strong support zone and is now moving higher. Considering the early chart structure, we expect this move to extend towards 1790 and stop loss can be placed at 1678. And our sell call would be on DB's Lab. We have been maintaining our bearish stance on the stock since it breached its support level of 1100, 1110 on a closing basis. So this is just a continuation of that particular sell call. One can now keep a stop loss at 1100 and our target remains at 1020.
Okay, let's bring on board then Megha and try and analyze all the earnings which have come by and have really been the movers and shakers. Of course, you started off with Wipro earlier in the day today, pre-market hours. Well, modest hit on the margins is what you've seen. You've got Kotak Mahindra Bank as well. Would be interesting to see how the markets have absorbed those inline set of numbers. Wipro is holding up by about 6/10. Kotak Mahindra Bank, wherein it's been an inline number. And yeah, the other Nifty major, which is slated to come out with its earnings up next, is Asian Paints. So we will look out for those earnings as well and see what they are going to deliver. Down a good 2% ahead of the numbers for Asian Paints. Within seconds from now, we will analyze all that's lined up for these numbers. But Mitesh, I want to come to you. Wipro, considering it's already digested the numbers, what is your take on where the stock may be headed from here?
See, Wipro, I think, has met the nearly met the downside targets of 525. I think on the upside needs to get past 550, 555 to give a reversal. So maybe it will consolidate between this range of 525 to about 555 before we get a directional breakout.
Yeah, that's the call coming in. Let's just also get in a perspective on the index, 74.19. We've consolidated at this point in time. For now, the broader end of the market is looking better than where we started off. But remember, the concerns only continue to pile up. Let's go across to Megha then to find out those movers and shakers and lots of result reactions, Megha. Let's start off with Wipro, a modest hit on the margins.
That's right, Chavan. But importantly, everyone was also watching out for what kind of guidance the company really puts out. Just in terms of guidance, they have said that for the IT services business, the dollar revenues would be in the range of about 1875 to 1900 or $12 million. And it's going to be seeing a growth of about 2 to 4% on a sequential basis. All in all, it was largely stable set of numbers. You had to say BFSI revenues were relatively flat, though the healthcare division certainly saw a bump of about 7% to come in at about 1472 crores.
Okay, the other one, of course, is Kotak Mahindra Bank. How is the street digesting those numbers, Megha?
Not too badly, Aisha. Clearly, you've seen improvement come through, on the asset quality front for the bank. Not just that, we've also had profits which were up a good 37%. But keep in mind, this also includes, the ING Vesha Bank merger as well. So that had some bit to play with it. Provisions, that's the other number I'd like to flag off. We had provisions come in at 235 crore rupees for this quarter versus just 30 crores. But a large part of that was attributed to ING Vesha Bank. So profits and results were largely in line.
Sameet, a quick call on where you see the Nifty Bank, or for that matter, Kotak Bank headed in the near term?
See, as far as Bank Nifty is concerned, we are now seeing a strong support zone around 15,100 to 14,800, 14,700. That's an important support level for Bank Nifty. We have been observing Bank Nifty moving within a band of falling wage kind of pattern, wherein the lower end comes around 14,700 and it is now finding a support. We have a view that similar to the Nifty, 7350, 7300 would be a support zone for Nifty, and for Bank Nifty it would be 14,700 to 14,800. So our strategy would be the same. Once Bank Nifty reaches those important support zone, it's advisable to cover your shorts, and in case of any bullish reversal, one can take a contra buy for a bounce of say 15,500, 15,600.
Okay, that's the call coming in, but let's nail it down to the last and final one, Megha. All eyes now on Asian Paints.
Absolutely. The other big Nifty name that will be coming out with its numbers. It's expected probably somewhere close to market closing. We'd probably see those numbers come out. Just get your quick handle on what's expected. Top line growth of about 11%, but it's the bottom line that's going to be interesting. A bump up of almost 25%. At 458 crores is expected. What's also expected is that margins will also see an expansion, and on the volume front, it's a growth of around 8% that the analyst community is penciling in.
Okay, ahead of its numbers, fairly sluggish. Many thanks, Megha, for joining in with all of those buzzing earnings candidates in trades today. Let's get in a quick call. Sameet, how are you looking at Asian Paints on the charts?
See, Asian Paints clearly has a multi-month resistance around 900, 910. For this upward leg to continue, it has to give a decisive breakout beyond this important resistance zone on a closing basis, 910, 915. However, as of now, we are seeing a range of say 25 to 30 points, wherein 910 would act as a strong resistance, and lower side now 860 to 850 would be a strong support on a closing basis. So we'll have to see whether this stock slips below 850, 860 on a closing basis or not. If it manages to hold this level, we might see continuation of this sideways movement. Once the stock breaches 850 on a closing basis, we might see immediate down move towards 825, 820.
I just want to check in on what the sugar pack may be up to, considering this is just source-based information that we're getting right now. Sources indicating that UP 2015-16 cane prices have been kept unchanged at 280 rupees per 100 kg bag. Now, this is, remember, just source-based information. Anything sub 280 is something which is going to be, which is going to move the needle for sugarcane farmers. you have a price of 280, that's not really going to nudge the needle, really. I think the street was anticipating a better pricing, which is why you're seeing a bit of a disappointment kick in into the sugar stocks, which have already seen a fair amount of trading action and built up in the run-up to any official or formal announcement. Remember, this is not a formal announcement. This is just what we are picking up from our sources. We will get you more details on this in just a bit. For now, take a very quick break.